Good afternoon, YouTube. Welcome back to my channel. In today's video we are going to be talking about begonias. So in particular we are going to be talking about winter begonias. They go by a few different names, but there are many different kinds of begonias out there, and they aren't just one care for the whole family. There's lots of different kinds of begonias with lots of different kinds of care. So these guys, as I say, they're winter begonias. Another name for them is a Rieger Begonia or an Elatior Begonia. So these are actually a hybrid. They're a cross between a tuberous begonia with the great big flowers. I'm going to put one of these down. And I always like red plants better than yellow plants, so I'm going to hold the red plant. They're a cross between a tuberous with the big flowers on them and a wax begonia. So they have a little bit of special care to them. And I'm going to just go over a bit of that care with you guys today. I'll give you a close-up of them. They are more of what you think of when you think of a begonia. Still little flowers, but fairly plain leaves, bright solid colors in the flowers. You can see that from the yellow as well. Very, very bright solid colors in there, so very pretty. And anyways, these guys are a cool growing begonia, so they are going to be living on the cool side of my greenhouse here. That is why they're called a winter begonia. That's when they flower, is in the winter time, or that's when they flower easiest. They can flower all year long, but they like high temperatures of about 70 degrees. So unfortunately for these guys, unfortunately for you guys, unless you have a cooler greenhouse, they are a little bit tricky to grow in the house. But if you want something for just a splash of color in the wintertime in your house, these guys are perfect because they aren't expensive at all. This is a $3 plant and it's just beautiful. It's in a 4-inch pot. It's a 12-inch plant. It's in bloom for $3. So it's not like these things are very expensive anyway. So if when they're done, you chuck them in the garbage, you chuck them in the garbage. But the goal here is to get them to live at least as long as you can. So the number one rule with these guys is to keep them cool. So they're going to appreciate the cool night times in this side of the greenhouse. This side of the greenhouse has all the Highland Nepenthes, the Masdevallias, the Draculas. It gets down to about 50 degrees on this side of the greenhouse, which is about 10 Celsius. And these guys will just love those winter lows. So the other thing, this time of year especially, it only gets to about 70, 75 on this side max. And again, that's perfect temperature for these guys to be. They don't like to be hot at all, and they do like a nighttime cooling. So it works out perfect. Now, summertime is a little bit tougher. They are a little bit heat tolerant, just like some of these other plants are here. You know, the greenhouse on this side does get quite warm in the summer, and all my cool growers, they lag a little bit, but they survive. So I'm going to switch it out for this guy because he's a little bit bigger plant. But as you can see, they have the sort of normal begonia structure, not so hairy like the, I did a video on Rex begonias that are more grown for their foliage. These ones have very simple foliage, but stunning little flowers on them, and for the price you just can't go wrong. So other than cool temperatures, these guys here are going to like fairly shady conditions. It doesn't need to be deep shade, but you definitely don't want them in the noonday sun in the middle of summer, that's for sure. They don't need that to bloom. They just need bright indirect sunlight to bloom. So they can be tucked anywhere in here. The greenhouse gets so bright in the spring, summer, and fall that they can be basically tucked anywhere in around the Dracula orchids, in around anywhere. They're not going to be one of those plants that's struggling for the sun. So it's nice, at least unlike some of the things I grow that like it cool, these guys like it cool and shady compared to something like this, which is a Heliamphora, totally different plant, but likes it cool and bright. So that makes these guys very tough to grow, because usually when you have bright, you have hot, right? So keeping these cool and bright is hard. Keeping this cool and semi-shaded is quite easy. Other than that, they don't like water on their leaves all that much. They do tend to have fungus and rot issues fairly easily if kept too damp and too wet. So the soil is just a peat base, probably some perlite in this mix. These ones I bought in this pot, so I don't know what exactly is in here, but they like an airy mix. You can put a little bit of orchid bark in there, some perlite, a 50-50 Miracle Grow peat mix would be great for these guys. They're pretty versatile that way. When you're watering, I like to do a little bit of a tray method. You want to wait till the first inch is quite dry and then put a tray under, let them soak it up from the bottom. Now, you don't want these guys to dry out. You just want them to be sort of evenly moist all the time, but you don't want them to be sopping wet either. So make sure there's good drain holes. If you bought them and they had sort of a plastic sleeve around them, like some of these decorative plants do, get rid of that sleeve so that they have good drainage. I know the sleeve is pretty, but the health of the plant is prettier, right? So anyways, these are winter begonias, or as the tag says, they are Elatior begonias. So I hope you liked this video. Care for winter begonias. If you want to see more videos like this, make sure you subscribe to my channel. As always, thanks for watching.